It's always a delight to bring you your must-watch, your must-listen to program on television, Politics Today, reaching you live on independent television and radio in Benin with yours sincerely, Sonny Duke Okosun. The quest for a better Nigeria is always at the front burner these days, particularly with all the challenges bedeviling the country. Well, our major talking point today is to look at the fallout of the South Governors meeting, which held in Enugu on Thursday. Interestingly, in that meeting, 4 of the Southeast governors were conspicuously missing. 3 sent a representative. 1, Anambra State, did not send a representative at all. And of course, with the host governor on the ground. In that meeting, far-reaching decisions were made, and to what extent these decisions will impact on the polity is another kettle of fish. But that's our major talking point as we look at the issue of anti-grazing, which the South governors, following the Asaba Declaration, decided to uphold. To what extent are the governors adhering to that resolution that they made? And then the issue of VAT is also taking its toll on the polity, with some saying, look, we need to allow states to collect VAT, but some governors are saying the federal government must continue to collect VAT, maybe for political interest. I don't know. These are lots more will be coming your way on our package today. Let me quickly welcome our panelist, Barrister Gentleman Amego. He's a politician and is also a public affairs commentator. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Bishop Osadolo Oche is the interim chairman of Edo State Civil Society Organization. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me. God bless you, listeners at home and viewers.
We also have with us Dr. Samson Isibo, is a public affairs commentator and is also a politician. Thank you for joining us, Dr. Samson.
Thank you for having me.
Bishop Akhalame will be joining us on the second half of this discussion, and you just stay with us and enjoy every bit of what we have for you today. Okay, let's get off really. South governors have had their meeting. In recent time, we have seen some sort of unification in the conversations and engagement with the larger Nigerian society. To what extent would you say these resolutions coming from southern governors is having an effect on the polity? They started by telling us that anti-grazing law will come into effect on 1st of September. But as we speak, we know that it's not all the South governors that have effected that law. So this meeting, is it just a jamboree or just to divert attention, so to speak? Let me begin with you, Barrister Amego.
Well, I don't think it's a jamboree. I think they mean what they are saying. Probably I'm saying, probably some governors who have refused to implement are still looking at the options. But I must say, in parentheses very quickly, it is unfair to back out now. Haven't appeared before your colleagues and has accepted that we shall all do the same thing. If you now renege on the agreement of all the governors, then you are a failed governor. Because you didn't speak while you were there. You cannot come out to say you will not implement. I'm very sure that they will, by graduality, implement. Otherwise, they'll be failing themselves and failing their people. Those that didn't come is understandable. But those that did not come and send their deputy governors or representatives shows that they are willing to be part of the decision. So I think that they are looking for something to do, options to weigh it, that there's no way they can get out of it. But we will take them up. Haven't told us that we are part of this decision.
Okay.
They can't renege.
All right, Bishop Osadola Oche. Yeah. We've also heard them say 2023, the president must come from the South. What do you make of this as part of the resolution?
South.
From the South, yes,
yeah.
From the South. Yes, what do you make of this resolution?
First, it's a laudable one because there is no region or section of this country wherein you can say this is the only family, this is the only state, this is the only region you can find a character that is excellent to rule this country. In every family there is excellent character. And for one region to begin to give us figures that what the governors have decided that power should shift to the south. The power shift is not talking of PDP, APC, ABGA, or whatsoever. They are talking as a bloc. Whichever party want to present a candidate, it should be from the south. And for somebody to hold a meeting and begin to tell us that they have 160 million people to make them win an election, in other words, we are not relevant, that we're only 70 million, that's an aberration. So I stand with the governors in that matter, that they should pursue this course without looking back. Because, one, if they talk of leadership of this country, the North have been the leaders of this country, and the North is the one that have destroyed this country. Right from military to today, the North have been ahead, leading this country into doom and destruction. Look at the incidences. Every Northern leader, hardly you have a one that have secondary school certificate. The highest is TC2, and there is one that have a NEPA bill. So look at when Jonathan was there. Look at when Yaradua was there. Look at, even though Obasanjo is a military man, but then he has a level of education. Look at the administration, and you'll be able to come up with a decision that these people know administration and how to govern. But this one we are doing now, I don't know whether we have a governor, a president, or a dictator. So the power should shift back, because my Bible told me that evil comes from the north.
All right, Bishop Sadolo, Oche, I think we just need to be a bit more circumspect some of the words and things we're saying that we cannot immediately substantiate here. There are those who will tell you that the country also flourished more when some military president or head of states were in the saddle, and many of them also came from the north. So it is neither here nor there. These are personal opinions which you can't immediately substantiate here. But let me get Dr. Samson Isibo. The convergence of South-South governors and the resolutions coming from them, should they be taken seriously?
Quite okay. Should be taken seriously, because this is a new dimension that has ever happened in our polity. For the whole South to come, the whole South to come together. This is what the North has been using against us, divide and rule tactics, in which we don't have a voice, a uniform voice, but they were taken by surprise to see the South coming together in the first meeting, second meeting, third meeting. So, and the more we talk in unison, the better we get a solution to our problem. And that thing has taken them aback, the North. So, maybe we are still coming to that. See them begging, be your brother's keeper now. Be your, whose brother keeper? You come to my village, you kill my brother, you kill my sister, you rape them, you say you are my brother's keeper, because the whole thing, the wind has blown. Yeah, the fouls, something is opened. So they don't have any excuse to give again. So it's kudos to the southern governors. We appreciate them, and we want them to continue. As my learned brother has told me, I just said now, we need this meeting, so to speak, because we have been taken for a ride for a long time. Our mumu don't do according to general balance.
Okay.
So what we are saying is that it's a welcome development. We appreciate them, we support them, we encourage them to continue. Not minding that will be when the Israelites were moving to Canaan, some fall by the roadside, but they will still get up and join them. So those governors that were now coming out saying, no, we are not going to be a part because they have their hidden agenda, which is a failure. They want to be president of this country. That is why they are now pulling back. Say they are no longer part of the resolution. It won't work. The masses in that state, they are with the southern governors.
Okay.
So that one single or two of them trying to backpedal, they will fail. It will not work.
All right. Exactly, I was coming to that question because we've heard people like the governor of Ebonyi State saying this is the best president that has happened to this country. We've heard people like the Imo State Governor, Hope Uzodimma, saying there is no need to have anti-grazing law in his state. Now, what do you make of these dissenting voices, and then interface it with the defection of all defections that took place this week? Femi Fani-Kayode, former minister, moving from the PDP to the APC, having sworn that until Jesus comes, nothing will make him make such a decision. Barrister Mego.
Well, you have almost said it all. You see people who say, we will not decamp. And when they open their file to them, they will call them, open this file to you. I mean, you've been talking too much. Look at your file. Say, oh my God, I'm sorry. Just this morning, Amechi was talking, for example, that he alleged that, well, of course, he said it was an allegation, that Fani took 2 billion and ate the money. Is that the man? Is that the character you should talk with? That will not talk with such a person. That's Amechi, who is the present minister, who was the former governor. And when the journalist asked him, he said it's not an allegation. He has all the papers in his office as the Minister of Transportation. He took the money, and so he has nothing to do with such a man. Well, EFCC had been issue was set up by military people. You want to say to witch hunt or to correct some anomalies. So what is happening now is that some governors will be told, don't talk too much, keep your lips. If you talk too much, we shall open your file. And unfortunately, Duke, very, very unfortunately, almost all our governors have soiled their fingers. Almost all the ministers have soiled their fingers. And by the time you open their file before them, they collapse. Instead of exposing them, let me just go and join that party.
At least if you can't beat them, you join them.
Can you imagine a son waking up to take his own mother to EFCC? It has just happened in this country.
In Kano State.
A mother, a child, said, my mother is very corrupt. And presented her mother to EFCC. A time will come where the situation will become like that. But as at now, they are so greedy, our ministers, our governors, they want to go to space, they want to live in the space if possible. They want to save money for unborn great-great-grandchildren. So they soil their finger, packing this money. I said, when you make mistake, because how can you justify the administration in this country? Unless a man whose head is not on top of his shoulders. That's the only man who will say that the country is being governed properly. Today we are all in tears. Today we are all in gutter. Today we are in pains, sorrows everywhere. No food, no job, no empowerment. Our children are just there. Somebody who was released yesterday from captivity said, oh, they said they went to the job because they are hungry. Yes, it is true that they are hungry. And what is our government doing? Somebody will come out and say, I'm sorry, I don't want to leave this office as a failed president. Which means it's already facing you the face that you have failed. You are the one saying it now. I don't want to live as a failed president. Because, like a picture of them, before you put anybody in any position, you need to test his intellectual activity, capacity. Do they have the? That's why I'm sorry I'm taking so much. That's why some of us have been advocating parliamentary system of government. Because 3 days you'll be at your work, 2 days you'll be at the parliament to explain to your colleagues what you have done or why you have done it. You are censored immediately in parliamentary system. I've been saying this, maybe when we were very young, we had a parliamentary system of government here. But when Babangida can just change everything to presidential, so the whole power is concentrated in one little individual. It ought not to be so.
Okay. All right, Bishop, give us your take on this, looking at the semi-uniformity of views, opinion, resolutions from the South-South governors, and then you also have those who are within They are there with their physical body. In their spirit, they are not there. It shows in the things they say and the things they do. And then we just talked about someone who has moved from PDP to APC, having sworn that he's never going to do that.
Thank you. My brother have said it all. They opened your file and showed you what you have done, your offenses, your stealing spree. And because of that, the person is shocked and you know that he's going straight to prison. And somebody have said, if you want to be safe, you join a particular party. If you want your sin to be forgiven, you join a particular party. He didn't just wake up to say it. It is a decision. So, our brother that defected from, it was in PDP, PDP to APC, APC back to PDP, PDP back to APC now. He's a political contractor. He's a political contractor. Even if I'm not getting anything, but the ones I have stolen before, they should not visit it. That is the position. And the issue of the governor's decision, both in Asaba, in Enugu, in Lagos, for a matured man to have gone to a meeting and vote was asked for, and you voted along with others that you agreed that open grazing is now addicted, and there is need for modification of cattle rearing, and that the only way is to outrightly ban open grazing because of the atrocities that it has brought to every community and families. Raping, kidnapping, murder, and so many vices. And this everyday slap on the face of Nigerians. Today, no road is safe. No bush is safe. My brother, Owe Dixon Masodi, was kidnapped on Monday, just released yesterday, inside his farm. Not in an office, not on the road. So if this is the trend, and some governors, after agreeing with others that by 1st of September, they will all pass this law, anti-open grazing law, into law, as passed to the House will read it, first, second reading, third reading, and send back for assent. Until today, somebody refused to even propose it, and they say governor in this state. It's very wrong. It's a slap on the people of Edo State. It's an insult to the people of Edo State. And from our own investigation, out of the 17 southern governors that attended a Asaba meeting, it is only Godwin Obaseki, the governor of Edo State, and I think whether more Ebonyi, one state in the east, that have refused to propose, neither to assent to. So, and yet is aware of consistent kidnapping, raping, murder in our bushes. And every month they collect security vote. If he has spent that money on our local vigilantes, they will fish out these murderers from our bush. So as long as he's interested in making money and not interested in our welfare, he has failed as a governor.
All right, Dr. Esibo, yeah, you want to build on that. Yes, go ahead.
Thank you very much. My colleague has said everything, but I just want to add few. First of all, we are talking about the resolutions of the
Southern governors.
But to my own surprise, our own governor here, who is part and parcel of the system, failed to go along with them. How? The two vital resolutions from Asaba and Lagos, which is the anti-grazing law, our governor has never even mentioned it in this place, in Edo State. Even his representative too has never even mentioned it. Or the Edo State House of Assembly, they've never mentioned it.
It didn't surprise us. Are we not having a governing governor in this state? Today you will hear say governor day, tomorrow he don't go abroad. Now so we go continue. We can't continue like this. We voted for him, Ogbane. But now where is our governor? And these men continue killing us, kidnapping us every day. Make this law, this anti-grazing law, it will have bring this kidnapping thing to a limit. But no. See now, they are moving from Ondo State to here, from Asaba to this place, from Kogi to this place, because no law. Nobody worries them. The so-called vigilante people, I mentioned it one day in this your studio here, that they were just going there to commit suicide. You are going to confront people with AK-47, AK-48, MG, and so on and so forth. You see, yesterday, one local government was just being very sympathetic. He paid 500,000 to one of the vigilantes that was killed by this Fulani Esme. You see, are we going to continue like that? What is our governor doing with our the security votes? We said it should set, see other states now, set up a security network for our state that has every impetus, insurance for the operatives. You cannot send me to the bush and then without any something to feed, which my family will feed upon. God forbid, but in case of any casualty. So we don't have it. Even the so-called vigilante group, they are turning to terror in our society. You will only see them today, Saturday now. You will see them at ceremonies, obituary, weddings. One even accidentally shot a girl. It was this association. In fact, I thank this association. They are trying that they gathered the money to pay for the girl whom they amputated her leg. You rehabilitate her. So I thank this station. You are doing wonderfully well.
But I must say something.
Yeah.
Not that I'm trying to defend anybody, but I must say that relatively, sir, Edo State appears a little okay, relatively, I'm saying. If you compare to Imo, to Zamfara, to Bauchi, what's happening in Edo State. And our governor here was the first to set up vigilante in the whole country. Others began to imitate. That he has not implemented, I'm not trying to defend him, he has not implemented the anti-grazing law. I'm sure it must be in the way because sir, he sent his deputy for any gathering a governor is unable to attend and send his own deputy. It means he is the one there.
So let us call the spade the spade. We're going to continue to wide under this. Please, where I am, I will say the truth.
Your governor, your is not the first to set up.
At all, it's not your governor.
Listen, sir. Listen, sir. In 2003, Igbanke was the first to set up. Listen. It was Obaseki then the governor. Then, because of what we were facing, we were the first to register as vigilante before others begin to pick up.
Exactly.
Then there were vigilantes everywhere, every community guiding us before Obaseki became a governor. Are you hearing me? We are saying that he should empower them. That's what we are saying.
Okay.
These people are taking risk at the detriment of their life. No insurance, no salary, nothing. Among the so-called security people, vigilante now, like in my place, only 10 people is selected and they are paying whether 10 or 20,000 out of the whole lot. And that is creating problem for us. That some people are being paid and others are not being paid. And when we are calling for an intervention, they say those that the 10 of them should go and face it, that they are not going.
Well, I'm not aware about that.
Okay, you are not aware. I'm telling you, practically, if you say it's a lie, we go there.
Laborer deserves his wages.
So let us not bring defense for anybody here at all.
Okay, let's try and stay on course as we go for a short break, so Bishop Akalame can join us. When we return after the break, we'll look at another very interesting part of our conversation today, which is the nagging issue of value-added tax,
that's what we
which
prepared
has
for.
been a major talking point in recent times. Two state governors are in the lead, or two states are in the lead on this one, talking about Rivers State and Lagos State.
Yeah, that's why I brought
and
this.
southern governors are also saying they are in firm support of that one. We'll take a short break. We'll be back with you in a moment. Stay with us. Okay, thanks again for rejoining us on the program Politics Today on Independent Television and Radio. Bishop Akalami, thank you for joining this conversation. Okay, let's start off with you as we look at the debate about the value-added tax. Lagos, okay, Rivers and Lagos is saying, well, we should be collecting value-added tax. Southern governors have also come up to defend that position, except Governor David Umahi of Ebonyi State. What are your thoughts?
Thank you very much. I think before I go into that, let me just develop a background for the value-added tax. The value-added tax have been everywhere. If you go to France, the France adopted it in 1954, and then if you come to the European Economic Community, including Nigeria, they adopted that in 1967. And if you look at it, if you look at the act, you discover that it is the duty of the federal government, vested on the federal government, to collect a VAT. If you look at Section 7 of the Value-Added Tax Act, you see that the power, the federal Inland Revenue Service is vested the power to administer the collection of VAT by that. Then, if you look at it very well, according to the introduction to modern economy by Professor Iyoha, he said VAT is a tax that is imposed on the gross monetary value of a product at any stage of the production process. So at the end of the day, it's clear that the final consumer bear the brunt. They transfer that body to the final consumer. That we are paying. That even when all this legal framework have been established, that it is the duty of the federal government to collect value-added tax. Then we must have to look at the exceptional cases. Like if you go to the northern part of Nigeria now, to drink a beer is a taboo. So you see that all this beer that will be consumed in this part of this country, the people who are consuming them, which are people who are not northerners, they are paying VAT on those consumption or those items. Then you cannot say after many of us in this part of this country have paid the VAT on the consumption of those items, then the money have to go to people who do not patronize such. Look at this. So
the grounds for this by this Rivers and Lagos.
Yes. So look at this, all these exceptional cases.
Okay.
So if you look at it, because there's no base for derivative that we collected about 2 billion naira for a Kano state. Because of that, let us give the Kano what they have collected from a VAT. No. So if they allow every state to collect VAT on their own, what are we doing? That is already a tacit notification of what I call restructuring. Because it will bring to an end what I call laziness on the part of some governors who are just lazy, waiting, holding that for the bottle to Abuja to collect what it not work for. So we must look at those exceptional cases. That is where we are discussing the legal framework. Look at what the law says, but we should not be looking at what the law says all the time. You cannot say VAT is not placed on every commodity.
Yeah,
there are commodities that are free from VAT. And if you look at it very well, it's called that most of those states, they collect more value-added tax come from some states more than some states. So all of us cannot be benefiting equally from that. So for the purpose of equity, fairness, there is need for the government to allow states to collect VAT. It will enhance productivity. It will make some governors to think out of the box. The laziness we are talking about will go. The idea of holding the bottle to Abuja to collect and feel free and go back to state will stop. Where the government will just come and sit down. They are not productive, they are not creative, they don't think out of the box. So what they do is that they go there, they collect. Now, they do not feel that there's need for you to be doing something. That's why I said it is a tacit notification of a structure we're talking about.
Okay.
That every governor have to work on his own.
All right, let's Bishop, yes, let's get your take on this.
I want to thank God that the certain governors are waking up spiritually and physically. They are now beginning to understand the workings in Nigeria that is against the entire South. You see, when there was cocoa, there was groundnut. I mean, like cocoa, groundnut, and cotton. It was royalty that is paid to the center. And they were happy because they have the highest income. Now, our oil became a commonwealth for all states. The gold in Zamfara became for Zamfara alone. Even the gold in Kogi is being mined by Fulanis. Kogi here. Now, I don't drink beer anyway. But if they collect VAT from beer and other alcoholic beverages, and somebody goes to a hotel or a drinking beer parlor or restaurant to destroy that same product, and you expect that the side that is drinking and paying, because consumers that pay, that from that money they pay indirectly should be shared to people who are destroying the product. My brother, that is the greatest sin. It's against human and natural justice. Now, they have so done the South that they take advantage of the states they created for themselves. The more local government they created for themselves. The land mass, they are now saying that they have more to rob us of our rights. This time, enough is enough. So we are with the governors. They should stand by it. If court go ahead and say no, we will remain here with our fund. Heaven will not fall.
Okay, Mr. Amego, yeah.
Well, I'm excited the way Bishop has taken up this matter. The collection of VAT is not in the constitution of this country. It's not even in the exclusive list of our own constitution. Well, Babangida just brought it up at a certain time. And everybody hailed it because all over the world, there's what we call VAT. We appreciate it, particularly in the South. So all the while, a lot of our governors here have been so docile that no one has woken up to say, what is this VAT? Who are the ones collecting this VAT? What must come to us from this VAT? Then everybody kept quiet, just following, like foolish people don't understand. Now, thanks to Wike now woke up and went to court. Let's test this matter. And he got it. And all of us are awake now from our deep slumber that is what ought to be. Even when they got another judgment from Abuja, the Abuja court was not even saying that we should not collect our VAT. It's not saying that we should come back to Federal Inland Revenue Service. He just said, let status quo remain, just to keep the rest. As you say, no, keep the rest, so that there is no anarchy. If you don't work, how can you be paid? If you don't sow, how can you reap? How can you say we collect VAT? Sultan Sokoto has said now that he's begging, please let us not go hungry. You are our brothers. That's Sultan of Sokoto. And even Kogi governor, please now relax. Relax, Sultan governor, relax. So it's our own collection, it's our own VAT. If you say it must come to the federal, we have to discuss. If it's going to federal, all right, let us keep 50% of what we have collected, then bring the other 50 down. Because when you, Sokoto didn't contribute anything, you want us to collect to you and then you eat. Then the hand that does not work should not eat, as the Bible says. If you don't work, how can you feed from us? So that's very unfortunate. We are very grateful to Wike because this matter will be on even on to Supreme Court. Even the Supreme Court says otherwise, we shall go to the People's Court. It is our own. VAT is our own.
That's all.
But we have to discuss the modality for sharing. In fact, all of our ROS, they should close up and go to the Abuja and do something else.
All right. I read there's a video I watched recently where I think it's one Mr. Ijewere.
Yeah, that's right. He said so.
Yeah, he said the original idea, his committee was set up by, I think, then Babagida's administration to conceptualize that. And it was supposed to be a state tax where state governors or state government are supposed to collect to boost their revenue profile. But he was shocked that over the years, the federal hijacked it using the platform of the Federal Inland Revenue Service. That seems to be where this politics came from. And interestingly, because he eats a lot of money and money is involved, you should expect that this kind of scenario will play out. But do you foresee any ground shifting at the end of the day, Bishop Akalame?
Well, what I've seen so far is that the federal government will maintain their stand, will maintain its stand, and the state government have to push, have to keep pushing. I saw when they were told that the Kano should not, what do you call it, Lagos State should not join the case. That if they must even join at all, that means all the states have to join, including everybody have to what? Join the suit. But if you look at it, they have to keep fighting. You know why they have to keep fighting? Now, let me tell you the items that are exempted from VAT. If you talk about all exportable items, all exportable goods, they are exempted from VAT. They are being paid for by the foreigners. Then all medical equipment, all educational items, books, name them, they are all exempted from VAT. Then if you now look at all the items that are remaining for VAT now, we talk about the test of product, we talk about all these alcoholic product and all these juice and the rest and services. And if you look at it very well, the consumption of alcohol happen to be on the high side. And who does that? You come to the south. If you go to the north, nobody could see you with.
So that seems to be the crux of the matter.
You see, it's as if we generate here to feed another in another place. So that's what is happening. So that's why they have to keep fighting that battle. You cannot collect. Take for instance, you collect VAT, and you collect about 20 billion. Out of that 20 billion, happen that about 5 billion happen to come from one particular state because those people happen to consume more of those products, and the money will go to the federal, and they will share equally among the lazy governor and the active ones. That is what is happening. So by the time they now ask the state to take charge of all these things, in fact, if not that we are not even listening, we don't want to do the needful. Every state should go back to their home, develop your state, and that's all the opportunities that are there.
That's the structure.
This is a step to restructuring.
Let me proceed there. Let me proceed. Bishop, I'd like to get you in here. Is there any way you can relate this, what you call it injustice, what's playing out in the VAT debate as injustice? Does that resonate with you in terms of your disposition to this issue of forced vaccination, as it were?
You see, where there is no justice and righteousness, you can never see peace.
Where there is no justice and righteousness, there can be peace.
Never be peace. And if any man need peace, it must be just and righteous. In the issue of forceful vaccination, the civil society and most of us who are church leaders are not saying don't take vaccination. That's not what we are saying.
What are you saying?
What we are saying is don't force people to take vaccination. Are you hearing me? The reason is this. One, the Minister for Health, who is a professional, was Dr. Sage Hanire, came up on an interview to say that the manufacturer of the drug said they do not trust it enough. And because they do not trust it, any country they want to supply should sign an indemnification certificate for them. And he went further to explain what is indemnification certificate.
Yes.
That indemnification certificate means that if anything happens, the manufacturer will not be held liable. One. Okay, do you bring all your children for experiment? Whether the drug will kill or the drug will not kill, will you do any good father do that? That is what the governor of Edo State is wanting to force on us. Number one. Number two, the body chemistry of everybody react differently. The body chemistry. Sonny Duke body chemistry can accept tablet. And my own body chemistry can be allergic to it. Are you hearing? Your body chemistry can accept syrup. And my body chemistry can reject it and react to it. Your body chemistry can react to injection, and my body chemistry will accept it. And that is why you bring in experts, medical science laboratories, to test blood of everybody, to know which medicine can work for your blood. And that's where pharmacy is coming. Now, these are things he has not done. And he's saying everybody, and went further to begin to lock government house gate. 4, we sent him a letter to tell him to retract his statement because it's so many boss. He will go to church. If you don't have a vaccination certificate, he will shut down the church. He go to mosque, he will go to event center, he go to parties, he will go to market, he will go to this and go to that. Now, they went to court. And the court says, meanwhile, parties are ordered to maintain status quo pending hearing.
Yes.
Has that been done now?
Yes.
No. No status quo maintained because he had locked the state secretariat and offices that without a vaccination certificate, you cannot enter there, whether you're a civil servant, a visitor, or whatever. And this is this true certified copy. This was signed by Honorable Justice A.I. Mohammed, the presiding judge, signed by the registrar M.S. Hassan, certified true copy by Obata G.I. Mrs. Their signatures are all here.
Let's get to it.
So if status quo is said to be remain, nobody, the warning is don't go further, you don't go further, you. So if he has gone further, if he has gone further to begin to lock up offices, then he has abridged that judgment. That is contempt.
I agree with you.
That's contempt.
I agree with you largely. But let me just remind you of a few things. First, do you know you have no right to take your life? If you attempt to take your life and you don't die, it's an offense you have committed, and you will be taken to court. The primary responsibility of any government is to protect life and property. Even the NBA as a body, we have come out to say, the government has to protect, government of president has to protect life and property of citizens. You have to protect life and property of individuals. And when we argue on any motion, I've always said this even at home, don't base your argument on 10% of the people. Base your argument on the majority of the people before you can now say it's for everybody. If you are told, if the government says, if you do this, you will die, don't do it. It's not an offense.
Sir,
he has to protect you.
It's talk about herdsmen and killers. That is the primary aim of government, protecting our lives and property. Not about the vaccination, sir. He has no right. Look, I have a right to go to hospital. They say they will give you injection. I said I don't need it.
But do you know you have no right to die? You accept that. You have no right to take your life.
That is taking my life. I'm not taking my life. I'm not taking my life. Nothing is wrong with me. Nothing is wrong with me.
You see, the issue is very simple. Let's take the vaccine. Okay, that is what the governor is canvassing. But we should not forget again that he said I am not forcing you to take the vaccine.
Precisely.
I'm coming now. Bishop, I'm coming.
But that would be contradicting
Yes.
what is happening now.
No, you wait now.
Yeah.
You wait.
Say that.
You wait. He said, I am not forcing you people to take the vaccine. But what I'm saying that if you've not taken the vaccine, don't come to public places. Where those who have taken it so that they will not be affected. So you cannot force you. You get what I'm saying now? It's not forcing you.
But that's a subtle way of forcing you. If you are saying,
no,
hold on, Mr. McCallum, just hold on. You work in a particular office. You are told you don't have the certificate.
Yes.
Don't enter this office.
Yes.
What does that mean?
No. You see,
It means you are being compelled. You are being forced to take it.
Yeah.
no.
Because if you can't take it, don't come. That's what it is.
You know-
I don't know why you are. Anyway, let me take the calls. The calls are beginning to come in. Hello, caller. Good morning. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Thank you very much, sir.
Yeah, go ahead.
This is Sonny Yodosa from Airport Road.
All right, Sonny, go ahead.
First of all, very quickly, I agree with the summation of your guests, especially with the area of FFK. I want to plead with Nigerians. Our constitution, the electoral law, all the issues surrounding our system does not stop any man from going back and forth in the various political parties until legal teach, like Obama will say, he is giving to the constitution. I think we should allow people to continue to move up and down.
Yes.
I also want to say that there have been fantastic information that he has brought to bear regarding the governance. I think we should hold on to those information and don't busy ourselves with an individual. Let's look at the message of the individual.
Okay.
On the issue of that, since there is no law and there is nothing that is holding us back, we need to beg our National Assembly to wake up. Because we cannot be saying that Bishop Akane said that they should start going to Lagos Abuja for the bottle. The Asaba road is bad. We say it's Federal road. The Lagos road is bad. We say it's Federal road. So what we need to do to solve this problem is to look for a way to ensure that true federalism is enshrined in the various states, so that states can manage their own problem, solve their own problem. Until that is done, it's injustice to humanity. Thank you. Good morning, sir.
All right, thank you, Bishop Sonny Gedusa, for your contribution. Hello, caller. Good morning. You're live on Politics Today. What's your name?
Good morning. My name is John Bosco, speaking from Benin.
John Bosco, please go ahead.
Okay, I want to contribute in the area of the post-school vaccination.
Please go ahead.
First, I have to comment your guest there.
Thank
They
you.
have really spoken well.
Thank you.
But the fact remains that, according to the two guests, they said that the governor is not forcing us to take vaccination. If you look at it indirectly, he's forcing us to take vaccination. Just imagine we are not working in a government sector. We have our money put in the bank. To go to the bank to go and collect our money, because of what the governor has said, they will not allow us in to perform our daily transaction. As if that is not enough. If the vaccine, those who have been vaccinated, as they allege that the vaccine is working, why are they not scared of we that have not taken the vaccine? We are supposed to be the one that would have been scared and say, okay, these people, since we have not taken vaccine, we shouldn't go out because our life is at stake. Someone who is sick, you don't tell the person to go and take mercy to get well. Secondly, if you are sick, you'll be the one to be asking people, please, where can I get these drugs? Let me save my life. You don't force people to take what they don't want to take. So I voted for Obaseki. If you do what is not right, I also condemn it. Because I don't vote to collect money. They will give me money that I said no. But now he's taking the wrong step. And look, okay, just imagine America that was hit by COVID. These laws are not there. That if you don't take vaccine, you won't go out. If you really want people to take vaccine, let him put a price tag and say, okay, if you go and take vaccine, you will be giving so amount. You will see that Nigeria will be so eager to take it. So that's just it. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Just some few minutes and we'll call it a wrap. Good morning, caller. What's your name and where are you calling from? Hello, caller. Good morning. What's your name? Hello, caller. What's your name and where are you calling us from? Yes, good morning. What's your name?
Good morning, Africans.
Yes, good morning. That's the radio professor, I guess, yeah.
Yes, Dr. Open Secret, the radio professor.
Go ahead, Dr. Open Secret.
Yes. First of all, my quick take is on those states here.
Go ahead.
Pertaining to the decision of the Southern governors, I want our governor to know how much love we showed to him during the last election. So we expected that he should pay us back with the same kind of love. Not this kind of draconian system he's trying to bring out for us. Those things that matter to us, the issue of security, we can no longer travel along the road. And the issue of the market unions that have increased prices everywhere. Although they is showing a good example. River State, let us assume that those two people are lawyers. According to the lawyer, Mr. Wike is the lawyer. That is why they are showing the path of the law. So I don't think Obaseki told us the other time that he doesn't have Godfather. He has God the Father. But the way he's behaving now, he's behaving that it's like he is now a tyrant. So please should open up the state and allow governors to touch every Edo people. As for the issue of that, we have come a long way. I've always insisted that the British, the Queen of England and the British Parliament should be called to order to come and explain the motive behind the 1940 amalgamation of the North and South, whether this was the foundation they laid. If this is not the foundation they laid, the beggars come and speak up because the marriage is suffocating some of us. The marriage is suffocating some of us. And the marriage is not supposed to be sacrificed on the altar of life or sacrifice life on the altar of marriage. So please, we are asking of our Edo State governor to toe the line of the progressive. We should not be afraid of anything because...
All right, Dr. Open Secret, thank you for your views. We'll take our last call now. Tell us your name. Yes, good morning. What's your name?
Yeah, this is David.
David, go ahead, please.
Yeah, the governor don't have to force people to take the vaccination. Those that have not taken the vaccination, if they want to go into public places, they make use of 6 months. That's all. You understand? Yeah. Instead of you to deprive them, let them make use of 6 months. People are always talking about 6 months. Nobody is talking about hand gloves. Nobody is telling you to wash your hands after leaving the banks or public places. But they will tell you, put on your face mask. Why by your hands? That's where they are getting it wrong. You understand? Okay. They have to have water. Okay. They will tell you, wash your hands before leaving this premise.
Thank you. That's the much time will permit us on the segment of the program and the entire package for today. It's our duty to bring up the issue so we get people to respond, make sense of them all, and of course take action. I want to say big thanks to all our panelists. Dr. Samson Isibo was on set with us earlier. He's still very much in the studio following up with the program. Thank you so much for coming. Bishop Akarame, thank you for your contribution. Bishop Osadola Oche, thank you so much. Brass Gentleman Amego, thank you very much. And to all our listeners and viewers from across the world, I want to say big thanks to you for staying with us on Politics Today. Be sure to join us next week. We'll bring you a fresh edition of the program. From me, it's bye-bye.